But we're talking about an important subject here, about this new age we live in the digital age. And it's amazing what we've watched transform in the last 10 to 15 years with the internet, with everything from Facebook and YouTube and all these different services that we have now that do a couple very special things for us. I was able to look up on YouTube a video on how to change my air filter in the cabin of my car. I didn't even know where that was. And I went ahead and looked up this 8-minute video on how to change the filter. Now the filter only cost me $16 online. The dealership wanted close to $90 to change that filter. Now, granted, they're the experts at doing that, but I was able to learn how to do that in 8 minutes. I was able to learn what tools I needed, where to find the spots, what screws to take off, what order to do things, and how to replace that. And I was able to do something for myself. I was able to learn something, to be able to do something. That maybe we have some perceived limitations as to what's possible for us in the martial arts world. Granted, let me make a disclaimer right now. The absolute best method of learning martial arts is face-to-face with an instructor, without any doubt. I will agree with that 1,000,000%. But that does not make it the only method of learning. Let me give you an example. I was learning Taekwondo from Grandmaster Hyo Cho. And what a great thing. Like Grandmaster Hyo Cho, if you've ever seen him, he's unbelievable. But Grandmaster Hyo Cho was phenomenal. His kick skills and his breaking skills and all that stuff was unbelievable. And here I am having the opportunity to learn from him. It was phenomenal. And that VHS tape, I wore that sucker out in my VHS player because I was able to rewind it and watch it over and over again. So back in 1988, 1989, I was learning Taekwondo and learning patterns from a video. And yes, I went to class and my instructor would polish things up, but it put me ahead of the curve. It put me in a position where I had information already that other people didn't have. And it allowed me to get ahead faster. Well, the cool part is once I learned that, I was watching other videos and other things, and I was picking up material. I mean, we would go to seminars for a weekend. All you could do is watch from a distance, and then you would pick up whatever you could. But the fact is that your brain was being fed information, and your brain was being fed things. Now, even if I didn't comprehend it correctly at first, I still had more information than somebody who wasn't watching that. And that's the cool part. We're talking about, can I watch something and know more about it compared to not watching something? And that's the fact. Look, I believe the martial arts should be spread worldwide. I should believe it should be in every corner of every town in the entire world. The only way we're going to do that is making it accessible for people. So here's the cool part. Hey, many of you know we have this thing called Ultimate Martial Arts Videos. Well, guess what? I hope 100 more people do this. I hope that people record all of their curriculum for their students to allow them. Look, people are busy, man. People can't make it to your class 4 days a week. Sometimes they only can make it 2. Man, would they love to have access? So here we are limiting our thinking to think that our students have to be in our classroom for X amount of times a week, and that's how they become the best student. Your best student might have quit because they only could make it once or twice a week, but they could have been your best student if they had access to the information. So I think we need to change some of these perceptions, some of these limitations that are in our brain that allow us that are holding us back. So I always say this, if my students are out there studying videos and all this other stuff and coming back to class and then training with me and then asking questions and having different perceptions, they're ahead of the curve. They're ahead of everybody else that's not doing that. See, I've been taught that I have an obligation to get my information to as many people as possible so that art survives. Because you know what? If I can reach 100,000 people, how many of those people do you think are going to make it to master level? And beyond that. There's a very limited amount of people to do that. But if you're only reaching 100 people, where do you think that master is going to show up from? Are you hoping that people stay? It's a numbers game, people. We have the ability to give that to them through the internet. We have the ability to give people access to this knowledge that, I mean, I've been blessed with. I've been fortunate to spend 25 years around one of the highest level grandmasters in my art, Hapkido, and been blessed with that gift. And you know, there's people who would love to spend one weekend with him, let alone 25 years straight with him. And you know, the dissemination of information that has been given to me is, I'm very grateful for it. And I don't hold myself on a pedestal. I just know that I have a responsibility by putting it out there. I've been watching one of my brothers, Chris Garland, do this now, and I love that he's finally putting it out there, man. And there's a lot of you guys out there who are like that. There's a lot of you who have this expertise. Get in front of the camera. It's messy, man. Who cares? I don't care if I mess up on camera. I don't care. My ego's in check, okay? And I think that's what's happening now, is that we have this exposure, okay? And we have to realize that we're not perfect. We're not perfect people. We are good at what we do, but we're not perfect. I'm happy to make a mistake on film. You know why? Because it shows everybody that I'm just like them. I'm in the process. You know what, man? We're all in the process together. We're all in this learning and building and growing. And when you're up on the ladder, let's say you're a few rungs higher than somebody on the ladder, legitimately, I believe you have an obligation to share that, okay? So I love you guys. I really appreciate everybody listening. So if you catch us on replay, give us some hearts, give us some love, and let me know your thoughts below. But I firmly believe that with the age of exposure, we're about to change the world of martial arts to a level you have not seen before. We're about to expose people to martial arts in a way that we have never been able to do before. And it's coming. So start filming, start getting it out there.